I was born in the segregated community of Midway in Sanford, Seminole County, Florida in 1936. Growing up, the only blacks I knew that were semi-professionals were school teachers and principals. My classmate, Charles Merritt, wrote a letter to Florida A&M University because he said they had to take all black students. And he and I graduated from Crooms Academy, which was a black high school in Sanford. And he says, just show up with your grades and they will admit you. And I showed up and the registrar said, I got this letter and I've been waiting to see if the fool that wrote it would show up. And he says, come on, you got to apply to go to college. So he took me into the registrar's office, helped me fill out all the papers, and I was admitted to Florida A&M University in 1954. And I came to Miami, practiced law 6 months. I was paid a paltry $75 a week, which was the colored wage. And after 6 months, I asked for a raise. The guy said no, and I quit, and I moved to Fort Lauderdale and opened my own office. Fort Lauderdale had about 350 lawyers. The Bar Association was totally segregated. In order to get to be a member of the Broward Bar Association, you had to be vouched for by 2 members in good standing. I volunteered for committees, and I chaired a lot of the committees. And in 1988, I was elected president of the Broward Bar, which was the first black president of any major bar association in the state of Florida, probably in the South. I was proud to be a member of the Broward Bar Association because we made the bar relevant. We brought in a lot of blacks and a lot of women. That they discriminated against women also. At one time, I kind of overdid it, and I had a heart attack at 48 because I was vice president of Chamber of Commerce, vice chairman of the United Way of Broward. I was also the vice chair of the Broward Transportation Advisory Board. And so after I had the heart attack, I had to stop. I was also working 80 hours a week. And I still did a plethora of civil rights cases. I sued them to integrate the beaches. I sued them to integrate housing itself. I sued to integrate restaurants. For years, when I moved here, the park, State Park in Dania was segregated. We called it Fishbone Beach because you could take food over, and most of the blacks had to take a ferry over there, and I used to take my kids over there. Then we made them integrate it and integrate the beaches, and so there was no need to have a colored beach anymore, but it still was there. John Lloyd was the county attorney, never hired a black person as a secretary. This courthouse was segregated. The only blacks working in the courthouse when I started practicing law were janitors. No black judges, no black secretaries, only janitors. And they had signs up saying white and colored bathrooms and water fountains. I didn't have any problems with rioting, but I had a business over on Northwest 6th Street that the cops watched the people tear the front off and go in as a clothing store and loot the place and never lifted a hand, never arrested anybody. So what they did here during the so-called riots was they contained the black community and encircled it and says, do what you want, destroy it. And they almost did. I was chair when we bought the building where the Bar Association is located now. And we bought the land and the building. And also under the leadership of another friend of mine, Roger Staley, who's dead now, we organized a group of the older members of the Broward Bar to donate money to pay off the mortgage, and we did, so we paid the mortgage off. So that organization is thriving now because of the work that we older guys did back in the day. You know, I had a great life. I enjoyed my work. I was very serious about my work. And, but it was something that you can't do forever. You don't want to die in the saddle, you know. So now I'm enjoying life. I fish more. I travel more, and I enjoy what I do.